Ta-da! That's another Canadian in the house. So, a little interesting story on this one here. There's a Facebook group that is dedicated to Coleman lanterns and stuff like that. And one of the guys put a post up there saying, "Hey, I have got a 321C lantern." Make sure I got that right. Yep, 321C lantern that I'm going to give away for free. You just have to pay for shipping, and of course, it's coming from Canada. So I immediately messaged him and said, "Hey, I'll take it, and happy to pay for the shipping on it, because that makes it a really good price to get it down here to the States." So Max, thanks, really appreciate it. And what we're going to do now, he basically says it's in good working shape. It doesn't have a globe, but that's fine. I've got another one around here. We can steal a globe off of here to get it running. But nonetheless, that is what we're going to do. So he said it's good working shape. I said, okay, sounds good. It appears to be pretty good shape, actually really good shape. And the date on this one, as I launch the heat shield out of here, that explains why my other ones don't have the heat shield, because it's only held in there by the globe. And yeah, the reason I didn't get the globe with this because it was cracked, and I said, I don't need to crack globe. I can get one from old Coleman parts. So that's what I'll be doing there. But the date on this one here, of course, I've got it upside down. Need to get my glasses on. And the date here, it says it is February '84, made in Canada. So everything on this really seems to work just fine. The knob doesn't seem to give me any kind of trouble, but we'll just take the top off this anyway, just to take a look. The pump holds perfect pressure. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't even need to oil it. There's a little bit of schmoo on the vent hood here, so we'll go ahead and clean that. Maybe give this a little bit of a polish with some steel wool, and do that. So we'll start off here. And for those who haven't seen the previous episodes that I've done on the Canadian lanterns, they're completely different in how they work compared to the ones from the US. And so the lantern is not, the vent hood is not held on with the ball nut like we have on all the American ones here. They basically sit on top of the burner tubes, and it's secured with the bail. The bail goes through that into the burner tubes, which holds the ventilator on. The ventilator itself has got a couple of little tabs right inside here, and those tabs basically sit here, and that's what keeps it from spinning. And that's pretty much it. So what I'm gonna do with this is that I just have I think this is a blade from a carpet cutter, but whenever you have like burned on stuff like this, I just use this to basically kind of scrape it right off. And since this is porcelain, it's basically like it's glass. And so you're not going to really damage it this way. I find this would be a very quick, easy, and efficient way to get off any kind of these little burn spots that show up on here. So just address a few of those. They should come off pretty quick. And go from there. Of course, as I've been saying for all these other episodes, it's another hot day here in Texas, but no surprise, right? Because it's always hot. I think the heat index today is 120, and I'm out there mowing the lawn. And but you know, it's got to get done. So that's kind of what you end up getting stuck with. So yeah, just seems like this might have been candle wax here. But yeah, there's not too many spots on here that need to be touched up. My biggest concern here is trying not to sweat on it. So anyway, right, that actually looks pretty darn decent. All the little spots removed off of it, and it looks good. yeah, I mean, I don't even believe there's any nicks or chips in it. It's just in beautiful shape. So, yeah, thanks again for sending such a great example. This is it's really great. All right. Yeah, so the diffuser, the heat diffuser or deflector or whatever, basically just sits on the bottom of the burner frame, and it goes around the generator, and then when you put the globe in there, it holds it down and keeps it from running around. So with this, I'm going to go ahead and just pull the frame off and just look for any kind of blockages or anything like that there might be in the air tubes. Oh, of course, the whole stud is rotating instead of the nut. Well, all right. There it goes. Oh no, it's just gonna do that anyway. That's all right. We'll get it squared away. I don't think it's too corroded on there. No, everything's free. So we'll just put that in this tray so we can keep track of all the parts we're taking off. Take this off. Take a look in the burner tubes. So coming from Canada, I wouldn't expect to see these things occluded or blocked up, but these are your air intakes right here. In Texas, we have mud daubers, which will go in there and they will block these up with mud, and they'll build nests inside here, so you won't be able to get any airflow through it. So that's a bit of a drag. I'll take the old mantle remains off. Take a look at the burner screen, which this does screw right out. As loose as it is, this may make me want to put a little bit of burner cement on it, just so it doesn't have any problems. The burner screen looks pretty good, but we'll give it a little brushing, but you can kind of see that there's a little bit around the edges. There's a little bit of build up there, but we'll just give it a little brush with the brass brush here, and that should clean any of that out, so that way this can breathe properly. And again, these are all this stuff here, as I've said on many other videos, none of this takes any really major amount of time. And it's just right back to where it was, right? So that looks pretty good. I have a tube of muffler cement around here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a daub of this on there. I'm also gonna try to pull this off. There's a little bit of dirt underneath here, so we're just gonna get rid of that. Looks like maybe we might have had a bit of a fuel leak here. And if so, it's not a big deal, because I have all of the O-rings for these that will fix that. So that's not a problem. We'll see what happens. These use 2 O-rings, and they use a fluoropolymer O-ring, which is blue in color, and it was picked because it had very good resistance to cold temperatures. Unfortunately, they really weren't supposed to be used in a friction type of environment. So if you were going to use them to seal a tube inside another tube and then clamp down on it, and the tube wasn't going to be moving, perfect. But they weren't designed to be used in an environment where they're exposed to rotary friction, because they do not withstand friction very well. So what I do is I replace these with Viton ones, and you can get those on eBay. And you can just basically, if you get a leak out of the fuel knob or it won't shut off, your O-rings need to be replaced. And the Viton ones don't go down quite as cold as the fluoropolymer ones, but I think they go down to, like, I don't know, -20. So, you know, you just kind of have to figure out, am I going to really be in that kind of temperature or not? In Canada, definitely you can find -40. I know that's for a fact because I've experienced it. So that's probably why they went ahead and used that, and just understanding that they're going to have to be replaced every so often. So yeah, if you have one of these with this type of a valve, you will have to eventually replace those O-rings, and like I said, they're available. So we're going to go ahead and just assemble this back. I'm going to take just a little bit of this muffler sealer right here, and I'm just going to smear a little on the threads. So what happens with these is that you will get, and this is all I'm talking about, just a little tiny bit. I'm going to put a little bit on this side here, like that, and that is it. So you don't want to have it on there such it'll never come off. But the problem is that with this stuff, is that you will have expansion contraction, you know, because it heats up and gets cold, heats up and cold, and it gets hot, right? So you know that this is probably getting up close to the 1,000-degree point. And with that dissimilar metals, because this is brass, and I don't know if that's steel in there. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Then it wouldn't be dissimilar metal. But at any rate, it is going to eventually work its way out and fall off. And I've had a 200A, one of the red lanterns, basically the burner screen over a couple of uses fell off, wrecked the mantle, and then it's just got gas shooting out of there, and that was just kind of a bad time. So yeah, you don't want to do that. So a little bit of muffler cement on there will take care of that and keep it from causing you any problems. So what I'm going to do here, there's a little bit of rust here, so I'm just going to hit this with a brush a little bit. Do that. I mean, really, generally speaking, I'm just doing a bunch of like kind of cosmetic stuff because I have it out. That's all. But it looks pretty good shape. It really does. So it doesn't take much to kind of clean it up here. But that, I think, is about as much as I really want to do. And then we can put her back together. One thing I didn't do is I usually give this a test in terms of even the valve cap feels great. So let's make sure that everything's working. So we're going to go ahead and pump it up a bit. Like that. No sound, no feel of anything coming out of the check valve. So the check valve's great. We're going to turn it to the, this is interesting. It doesn't have a light position. I've got a 321B, and it basically has an off, a clean, a light, and an on, and these just don't have that. You just basically turn it on. So, okay, interesting. Because there's like a third position up here. So, oh yeah, and I'm getting a lot of air in the ear, so it definitely flows, no problem. We're gonna dump that pressure, and then I'm going to set this back on. Oh yeah, I need to deal with this stud. So let's get this screwed in here. And what I'm going to use is I'm going to use 2 nuts, and let's see, do I have my jam nut here or not? Yes, here it is. Because I ran into this problem with another one of these. So I have the right size nut on hand. And so we're basically going to jam these 2 nuts together, and then use this to crank down. Of course, they're not jamming very good. I gotta re-jam them. Okay, this would be a lot easier if I could see what I was doing. So let's get this on here, just like that. And then jam the jam nuts, and then I can use this to crank the stud tight, which that should be pretty tight. Now I can unjam everything here. Making sure that I don't dislodge the stud in the process. So anyway, and I probably could put a little bit of like Loctite blue in the bottom of this so it'll stay in one spot. but it's probably not necessary. There's a little bit of paint in there, so that'll probably do a good job of making it stick. So we're going to go ahead and drop this right in there like that. Got to use the collar though, that always works better. I wonder how many people watch these videos and go, wait, don't do it, you know, because I'm not paying attention here. That's right. So, going to make sure that we've got this kind of centered in the middle there. That looks pretty good. Centered here on that hole. That looks pretty good. Now we're going to proceed to apply a little bit of oomph to this. Any rotation? No. Okay. So, we proceed ever closer to making fire. So what I'm going to do, go ahead and get funnel in here. I've got can of fuel. Should be good. That's not going to fit. You know, I'm really looking forward to winter coming along, because then it'll be a whole lot more comfortable to do these videos in the shop. Because boy, I tell you, it's just so steamy here. That's probably the worst part of it. Okay, can I give this a little tapperoonie? That's sitting here. Do this. Cap is tight, valve is off. Unlock and pump. So we're going to stop with that. I am going to briefly light this before I put a mantle on there, just to make sure it's working. Don't want to run it too much because I don't want to get so hot that I can't work on it. So this is going to be probably pretty quick. There it goes. Yep, that looks good. I'm not going to run it any more than that, because otherwise I won't be able to touch it. So what we need to do is we need to get a proper mantle on here, and these take the 999 mantle, which are bigger than a 21A. So for those of us here in the States, you don't really have access to the number 99 mantles. So I ordered mine from a place up in Canada. And let's see, where are they? Yeah, it was some guy's real repair shop or whatever it was. But anyway, so this is the, do I have any open? Nope. This is the Coleman string tie mantle number 99, which you can see here. And these are bigger than your 21As. Now, some people say, oh, well, you can put these number 99s on a 200A and you'll get more light. And I'm like, I don't know if I really completely agree with that. They also say that you can use, let's see, yeah, these model 24As. So let's see. So the 2CHG from Peerless is equivalent to the Coleman 21. The 24 is supposed to be equivalent to the number 99. And I've got one of those here. So, I mean, we can easily see side by side here that this is like the 99 and this is like the 21. So it's a significantly bigger mantle. And I just don't think that the 200As have enough horsepower to fully illuminate that 99 mantle. And as a result, you're just not getting as much light as you could, because you know that a mantle works on the process of turning heat into light. You basically get the the rare earth elements in here, yttrium or thorium, well, probably more yttrium nowadays, hot, and then they incandesce. And so the deal is that you want to get them as hot as possible. And if you're using a mantle that is too big, you can't get it as hot as you could one that was smaller. So that's why I kind of say, well, you know, just use the one that Coleman says to use. And so that would be a 2CHG on the 200As, and then a 24A on a 321C or similar like that, whichever one uses like the 99 mantle. But today, well, that was a lot of rambling. Today we're going to use the Coleman 99 on the Coleman lantern. Well, that's kind of a first because I don't believe I've actually done those before. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get this on here. The usual struggle. It's a good thing I did not get it too hot because it's a little bit warm. It doesn't take long to get that stuff too hot to touch, so you don't want to do that. So, okay. All right. As always, clip your mantle strings so you don't damage your globe. They will leave marks on it. I say this every time, but I figure maybe someone's seen a video like this for the first time, so they get to get a little bit more information than they would have got. And make sure that you turn the flat part of the mantle to the generator, just like such. And I decided to have the Coleman thing showing because, I don't know. Right, time to light. Here we go. Maybe I should try it with this. This would probably work a little better. It's not quite as violent as a huge propane torch. But there we go. And another thing that, of course, also bears repeating is that when you light one of these, be prepared to be in for a 30-minute runtime, because that's how long it takes to really get the mantle settled. You can see, like right now, I've got a fan way far away from me here, and it's blowing, and I'm going to actually shut that off because it's kind of swinging it ever so slightly. In this state right here, these things are incredibly fragile, so you really don't want to have doing this in a windy situation or anything like that, because yeah, you're gonna definitely have some problems, and that problem would be breaking your mantle. So what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna go fetch a globe off of one of my other ones here. This one looks like a likely candidate. All right. So we'll have that ready. I have a 335 here that I'm stealing it from, but anyway, this is the same globe will fit from the 335. Will fit on this. Will fit on the 321s and all this other stuff. So we're just gonna do that. You see, I've not put the heat diffuser in there. That's because I don't want to run the chance of possibly banging into the mantle and breaking it. This side here did not get completely burned off, so we're gonna restart the torch here, and we're gonna give it a little bit of help to get it finished burning off. And I think we can probably actually light this up. Of course, I turned this the wrong way. I do it every time. All right. I've always found that all of these 321 type lanterns and stuff like that, they always seem to start with a lot of yellow flame. And this one is no different. I didn't pump it up a whole lot because I didn't want to have it go too crazy on me. but we're gonna do this here. Might have to do a quick clean. There we go. I think maybe now I might feel brave enough to slip this in here, maybe. Okay, that went all right. We're gonna get this in here. That looks good. Gonna get the vent on. That gets extremely hot, extremely fast. And then we'll pin the vent hood in place here with this. I guess I didn't really polish this off with any steel wool, but there we go. So it's running and looking great doing it. And yeah, Max, so there you go. There's your lantern all running and doing what it should be. So this is actually really good stuff here, because if you can find one of these here in the States, I really recommend them. At first I was kind of like put off by how they use the valving on there and how that was kind of weird. And but I found that they start really well. They're extraordinarily bright. They really are, because they are more of it's not quite 500 candle power, but these are probably in the 300 to 400 candle power range, something like that. So yeah, and this lantern mantle here is a little bit yellow. I'm just flipping it back and forth because that's how you get the cleaning needle to come out. And then we can give it maybe a few more pumps. Really get some brightness in it. There we go. And they do make a little bit of noise, but yeah, they're definitely a pretty great lantern. And if you see one, pick them up, because they run great. They really do. And I love them. I've got a 321B. I've got the 335, which is the version of that has the more traditional type Coleman valve on it. And when they went to the 321s, that's when they switched to this O-ring type Easy Light system on there, which actually I like a lot, because you basically go for, it's like what, 3/4 of a turn from off to on light, and you're done, and that's it. It just goes. And so it is, Easy Light. It does live up to the name. So anyway, I think that's about as far as we're going to go with this one today. But yeah, there she is in all her glory, working really well, and will continue to work for quite a long time. No fuel leaks coming out of the valve here, which is always one thing to look for when you have one of these. But yeah, it's not hard to change the O-rings. So that is the story, and that's it for this one. So thanks for watching, and if you like it, man, hit subscribe. Helps channel out, helps me out, helps me kind of making more content and stuff like that. Kind of keeps me motivated. Put any questions or comments in the section down below, and if you got anything that you really like me to see do or something like that, throw them down there too, and I'll do my best to accommodate that. So anyway, until next time, keep them lit.